Welcome in to another American River College football broadcast brought to you by Stones Radio Network. 12:50, 10 minutes before kickoff, and we're going to send it up to the booth for a pregame show for your American River College football team. Let's send it up to the booth right now. Phantom, take it away.
Thank you, Stones McCoy. This is Mark the Phantom Lowe up here in the booth. They got me a spot up in the booth today, and I'm very, very excited here at Beaver Stadium on the campus of American River College, Sacramento, California. A meeting today between the number 19 American River College Beavers and the number 8 Butte College Roadrunners. And I usually work with a guy named Jordan Georgeson, who is on assignment this week, assignment at his cousin's wedding. So we've got ourselves a replacement. I don't know where we got this guy. I work with him on Fridays doing Placer High football games, and he graciously accepted my invitation to sit with us today. His name is Scott Gordon, and partner, thanks for dropping by, helping us out.
Phantom, it's good to see you. We had a nice call last night on the radio broadcast for Placer High School winning 42-35. I didn't know exactly where to park, but I made my way over here. I'm sitting in a different seat. Normally I'm on the left, you're on the right, but here we are. You're the play-by-play, and I'm just giving some color fill-in.
Yeah, you did. A rookie mistake where you parked. I wasn't going to say anything. I saw your car. I could have told you to come around the other side on the south side. I did not. I chose to let you live your truth. And but even with that, I am happy that you're here. And I tell you, we got a pretty good ball game. American River was 1-3. Now they're 3-3. They have had a couple of wins in a row. They beat Modesto 29-28, and they went on the road and took a high-scoring affair up in Reading against Shasta College, 53-43. So they're out here taking on a Butte College team that has a huge win over San Francisco City College and sits at 4-2.
4-2 coming off a nice win last week over Santa Rosa, 24-10. These teams have played 3 times before, with American River winning 2 of them. But when we talked to the coaching staff earlier this week, had a chance to talk to Lou Baez, the defensive coordinator. He said this is always a last-minute, last-second affair. It either goes into overtime, it's either a Hail Mary, it's a big kick. And if you think about the history of both of these programs, Butte Junior College, ARC, this is a program that puts their players in 4-year places and not just D2 or FCS. This is FBS. There's a lot of big eyes that are on this team. And this game today is critically important for both these teams. You got 3-3 against 4-2, and you feel like the winner really is propelling themselves towards the end of the year.
Exactly. We've got prospects on both sides. And, yeah, you've got a conference race, which these teams are in the thick of, as you say, but you've got 8th-rated Butte College, but you have look up at number 5, and that's Sierra College, and that is a foe for both of these teams as well. So they're trying to keep pace with them. I thought we'd take a look at what each team has to offer on the offensive side. And, Scott, you can comment on this because we're going to start with Butte and with their quarterback, Tanner Hughes, out of Pleasant Valley High in Chico, a big guy at 6'5". He leads the way. He's averaging around 60% completions, 1,100 yards, 12 touchdowns to only 1 interception.
He's a big guy. I'm watching him warm up right now. Very, very strong arm. And if you think about their offense, they've got tremendous balance, almost 200 yards through the air, over 150 on the ground. They're scoring almost 32 points a game. They do it really on the ground and through the air. And as you mentioned, from a quarterback's perspective, it's in a game like this, you don't want to make the critical mistake. And so far this season, if you look at Tanner Hughes, the sophomore from Pleasant Valley High School, he's got those 12 touchdowns against just 1 interception. They've played against some pretty good teams. 6 games into the season to have just 1 interception means he's making good decisions. And as I said, watching him warm up, he's big, he's physical, and he's got a very strong arm.
Well, and then we're going to have this segment's called Beyond the Stats, because I found a number that I thought was interesting. Tanner Hughes, as we talked about, threw for 1,100 yards, 12 touchdowns, 1 interception. He has 38 carries for 98 yards, which isn't too much, but he has 5 touchdowns. And so does that indicate to you that he is Mr. Quarterback Sneak? Is that what's happening there? He's grabbing all the glory on those 1-yard runs?
Well, he's going to get it with his size. He's going to get a quarterback sneak. It's going to be about 2 yards per carry. The one knock is people forget this. In the NFL, they take sacks out of the rushing category. But in college and in high school, they don't. So some of those carries get knocked against him. So he actually has some downfield runs. They run a very spread, very open attack. You can see when they're warming up, they're going to do a lot of pistol looks. The pistol looks set up for a lot of play action. That's the big design. Chris Ault invented it at the University of Nevada when Colin Kaepernick was the quarterback there. It's designed for play action. It's designed to give the quarterback the ability to run if he doesn't see anything down the field. And with an experienced quarterback like that, he's just going to make good decisions.
Yeah, and I think the first time I met you or something, didn't you say that you actually had an idea that was actually your idea, that whole offense? I think you did. I think you said you had Colin Kaepernick's ear and you kind of whispered a little thing. Maybe I got that wrong. I'm not sure. But let's look at a couple of his targets, Scott, if we can. And basically, number one, Jalen Hammer, who has 26 catches, almost 500 yards, 8 touchdowns. A big game last week, as you mentioned, against Santa Rosa. 8 catches, over 200 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. He's somebody, obviously, that the defensive backs from American River are going to have to key on.
Well, when I asked Lou Baez yesterday, the defensive coordinator, I said, what are you going to run on the defensive side? He said, we're going to have a 4-man front, but then from a coverage perspective, we're going to run about 9 or 10 different things because of all the different looks that Butte gives us. They've got 3 or 4 receivers. They've got a tight end. They can throw to their running backs out of the backfield. We really need to find out where we need to lock them up. Obviously, they've got some primary targets they're going to be focusing on all game, but from a defensive standpoint, that's the chess match that you and I are going to have to watch closely. What adjustments do they make quarter to quarter coming out of the halftime? Because we both know this is a balanced offense that can hit you both ways.
Yeah, we talk about Hammer on the passing game. What about Caleb Ramsey, the running back? 71 carries, almost 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, also 9 receptions. So he is a dual threat coming out of the backfield. As you said, that's Tanner Hughes likes to make use of his backs.
Well, and it's kind of interesting. He's from Elk Grove, right around the corner here, Monterey Trail.
Right.
Monterey Trail played on that team that beat Folsom High School and broke the winning streaks a couple years ago. An outstanding running back. It's curious because a lot of the coaches on ARC are from the Elk Grove area. The offensive coordinator, obviously Ryan Gomes, who coached at Consumnes Oaks. But Caleb Ramseer, 5'11", 190, is just a guy that, I mean, unbelievable if you look at the number of yards he has per carry, but also how he finishes his runs.
All right, let's take a look now at the American River College when they are out on offense. Coach John Osterhout and his ball club with his offensive coordinator, as you mentioned, Ryan Gomes. It's been a dual quarterback system, Scott, the entire season. Kenny Leith had a good game against Shasta last week, so he is going to get the start today. He's thrown for 532 yards. Matt Carlisle for 500. And you talked with Coach. We think that we're going to see both of them today.
No doubt we're going to see both of them today, and the bigger question isn't necessarily the quarterback, it's the offensive line. They're starting mostly freshmen along the front against this veteran Butte defensive front. But we'll see Kenny Leith, we'll see Matt Carlisle, both good quarterbacks, both freshmen. But one thing that really the Beavers need to do is balance that offense out a little bit more. They are getting 125 yards on the ground each game, but really averaging just 168 yards with the passing attack. You'd expect that when you're trying to find a one signal caller, when you have 2 quarterbacks coming back and forth, every throw matters, things like that. They do seem to be getting more comfortable. The last 2 weeks, the offense has kicked in. Obviously, they like nothing more than win 3 in a row.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the running attack because, as you mentioned, 125 a game, but after about 3 games, Coach decided he wanted to go with a couple of bigger backs, and he put Joshua Moore, he put Casey Riley in the starting lineup, and they've got a lot more reps lately. Joshua Moore, 27 carries, 137 yards. They give them a little bit bigger, a little bit different look, and how important is that in the junior college game? You got to have a couple of guys, not just fast, but you got to have a couple of guys that can handle the middle as well.
Well, if you look at their carries, there's a couple of things too. They got to handle pass protection as well. If you want to get your quarterbacks established and you have a young offensive line, you need veteran running backs. And if you look at it, they've got 212 carries on the year, but spread, if you think about it, 32 carries for one, 32 carries for another, 32 carries, 27, 36. They are really trying to establish the run, which doesn't surprise me with Ryan Gomes' background. It's a spread offense, but it's run, force you down, and then pop one over the top.
Yeah, Tariq Parker, Turi Hendrick, Monty Jacobs, Casey Riley, as we mentioned, some of the names we're going to see in the backfield. And when you look at the targets for Kenneth Leith or for Matt Carlisle, the one that stands out really is a guy who's getting a lot of attention from everywhere, and that's Grayson Barnes.
Well, you love it. You know me. I love a tight end.
I know you do.
Tight end is my favorite player on the team.
Across the middle, baby.
He's always open. And so Grayson Barnes, just a sophomore coming in this one, 28 catches, 386 yards. He is the number 1 target. And for a young quarterback that's a freshman that's looking for a safety belt, right over the middle of the field, over in the flat, high percentage throw, you can always find a tight end. And when you're trying to get the offense, especially the offense that runs the ball as effectively as the Beavers do, there's a lot of play action. That means the tight end's going to be wide open going up the seam.
Yeah, finally, right before we break here, we're going to have the Star Spangled Banner very soon, but I want to, give you a clue because I've been at a couple of games here I've watched, but I want you to keep an eye on number 5, Robert Freeman, a guy who was electrifying on punt returns, on kickoff returns, and as a target in the passing game.
Well, he's from El Cerrito, shorter guy, but very, very fast, very, very electric. And it's, he's the kind of guy that gets the sidelines fired up because, as you know, nothing's better than a big special teams play. You block a punt, you block a field goal, you take a big punt return or kick return for a touchdown. It can change the complexion of a game. And in a matchup like this that has come down to overtime or last-second plays, special teams and turnovers are the two things that we really need to watch for.
Yeah, and also number 1, Brandon Barthel, we take a look at in the pass game as well. That's our Beaver pregame with our buddy Scott Gordon. I'm Mark the Phantom Lowe. We're going to take a break for the national anthem. We'll be back with the start of this one. You're watching American River College Athletics on YouTube, presented by the Stones Radio Networks. Athletics broadcast brought to you by Stones Radio Network. Today we have the ARC football team taking on Butte College. And now with the word I play, I give you Mark the Phantom Lowe. Thank you, Stones McCoy. I'm up here with Scott Gordon. We're going to bring you the American River College Beavers against the Butte College Roadrunners, number 19 against number 8. And we'll get it started here in just a minute as the Beavers settle in. As we said, 2 in a row, Scott, and you said 3 in a row sounds pretty good, but at 1 and 3, 2 in a row sounded a little bit out of reach, and now that they've done that by kind of finding a little bit of an offense, do you look at this game as more of a defensive challenge for the Beavers or offensive?
I think it's a challenge on both sides of the ball when you're playing a team like Butte, but you know, if you look at the history, John Osterhott took over on the interim basis in 2014. They've done some amazing things. They've had records like 10-2. They've won the state playoffs, things like that. For them to start off 1-3, you got the sense talking to the coaching staff, this is just not something they were used to. So for them to right the ship, get a couple of good wins, and they had some other games. Obviously playing San Mateo, losing 24-14. They have 7 turnovers, make some kicking game mistakes.
Yep.
They feel like if they play a clean game, they play within themselves, that they have a really good opportunity today.
American River going to kick it off, and Butte College on the receiving end. They'll be going from our right to our left, which is from the south to the north, I believe. And we are just about ready to get going here. Butte College has risen all the way to number 8 in the state rankings. They were number 10 before a win over Santa Rosa. They have the big win over San Francisco this season.
Before we go too far, shouldn't we be congratulating somebody? Your partner, Jordan, didn't he just get engaged?
Oh, I think he did. But, I mean, like I said, he's on assignment right now at his cousin's wedding, so he doesn't really want his whereabouts known. So, I mean, when you see him, if you want to drop him a text or something, that'd be fine. Although I think he went to Disneyland right after or something, or he proposed at Disneyland. I don't know. That's kind of a rookie move.
Well, and then he hurt himself at home with the ankle, and so he was having trouble getting down on the knee, and he had to just propose much quicker than he did.
He actually got a proxy to come in and propose for him.
Did you do it? There you go.
I was called, let's put it that way. All right, mister, let's get to some football. Zach Schreiner going to kick it away for the American River College Beavers, and he fakes it, and the referee says, no, I'm not quite ready to go yet. Scott's not done with his analysis, and we are not going to start us a football game right now.
Yeah, that's something we're going to have to watch for. The wind is going very steep left to right, and the ball just rolled off the tee, so they're going to bring in somebody to actually hold it, and that's going to be the safety for the kick. We saw this last night in our high school game, that the wind was a factor in the passing game and the kicking game.
Look at you paying dividends already, noticing stuff that's going on, and the wind blowing it off the tee and everything. I just thought somebody said, wait a minute, I don't feel like it yet. So here's Schreiner. And the kickoff down to in the end zone, all the way through the end zone. A good kick by Schreiner, and that looks like that wind kind of helpful on that one, Scott. So here we go with Butte College coming out. Tanner Hughes under center, and as you said, a big job for the Beavers defense to try to get that initial stop because, when you're in a situation like this, you won 2 in a row, you want to go out and start on a big note.
Well, most likely they won the toss, deferred to get their offense on the field in the second half, and they wanted to kick the direction they want to. So far they're 2 for 2 with what they wanted to do. But when they look at Tanner Hughes, they've got a big guy they've got to stop. 6'5", 235, 12 touchdowns, and he can also move with his legs. So you got to think of they're going to have somebody spying him.
Yeah, Cian Sloan has been an incredible job with 9.5 sacks on the season, so he looks to put some pressure on Tanner Hughes, who is back with the running back behind him here. 1st and 10 from the 25. H-back in motion. He's going to throw it right out to the right side to the H-back. Is picked up out there 5 yards, 8 yards out to about the 34-yard line. So a quick pass by Tanner Hughes, a completion and a gain of 8, and that'll set up a 2nd and 2.
Kai Wallen, the outstanding defensive end, almost knocked that down, but he didn't. It went right through his arms, and they pick up a quick first down.
They're going to give him 10 yards on the play. So here's Hughes again. No running backs. He throws a quick pass again over the middle. One tackle is broken. And a 15-yard gain. The ball is loose. Let's see if he was down. It looks like the Beavers have it, and that is going to be a fumble. Let's see. The receiver, I think, was number 83 on that one. And he was hit. It's Zach Woodall. He was broke a tackle and then was hit by 2 Beavers simultaneously, coughed the ball up, and American River falls on it. They've got the first turnover at their own 40-yard line.
We talked about in the outset, turnovers, and there was a first down pickup. A good throw, as you said, to Woodall trying to run over number 17, the defensive back, the safety who came up and just laid the wood. The sophomore out of Whitney knocked the ball loose. So now American River gets the ball at their own 40. So this game has started off in the way that the Beavers wanted it to go.
Yeah, shout out to Dom Spence, number 17, Leith behind center. In the shotgun, one running back behind when he hands that one off, going to run the left side, and through about 4 yards, and they get that scrum thing that you love so much, Scott. Pick up about 6 yards. I believe that was Tariq Parker on the carry.
It was Tariq Parker. They ran that play. They have it on the left hash, so we see that a lot. They run that into the boundary because the defense has to shade to the field side, the stronger side, so they get an extra man on the block. They pick up 6 yards on first down.
Nice gain, and that'll set up officially second and 3 as Tariq Parker, his 33rd carry of the season. And he is still behind Leith, who is in the shotgun. 2nd down after the turnover for the Beavers. He's going to go ahead and hand it off up the middle, going out to the right side, cutting it back, but just a gain of about 2 yards. I think that was Parker again on the play. So setting up an early 3rd and 1.
Nice job by penetration that time by Butte. Luther Snipes coming in from Elk Grove. He pushed his tackle right out of the way, got into the backfield. He maybe got a yard, brings up a 3rd and short situation. So obviously, if you're the Beavers here, you want to convert. You got the turnover. You've got it in good field position. You almost think this might be 4-down territory.
Well, let's see if they try. Maybe they get Grayson Barnes involved with the short pass, but they're going to go under center now for Kenny Leith. As nobody is split out, it's a straight handoff up the middle. It's going to stutter in. It looks like he's a little bit short, and the scrum comes on, and I think he is going to be a little bit short, and it's going to set up that 4th and 1.
Well, they came in a power I formation. They had no receivers in the set. Torrey Hendrick was the running back who runs like Greg Ironhead Hayward, for those of you who are over the age of 50. They gave it to him, and he picked up absolutely no yards. Great job. It was really 11 on 11, just a power play, and here it looks like Coach Osterhout's going to gamble here and go for it on 4th and short.
Yeah, and he does look like he's in that same formation, which doesn't give you a lot of options here at 4th and 1 unless you're trying to draw somebody off sides. So here we go, 4th down. Leith looking over to the sidelines now, and there's 3 or 4 people making signals to him, so there a couple of them are dummies, no offense. And he's going to have quarterback sneak it. I think Leith is through. He's 6'4", and I think he's going to make it. And it'll be a first down for the Beavers on the 49-yard line.
Well, he didn't make it because he's 6'4". He made it because 3 running backs came from behind him and literally shoved him forward. So he'll have a chiropractic visit tomorrow morning. Nonetheless, they pick up the first down.
We were talking about that yesterday, the new scrum play, the whole getting behind the quarterback and push him. So the Beavers go to that short set, that power set in 2 plays. They get a combined maybe 1.5 yards, but it's enough to set up the first down, and they keep this drive going. 12:04 to go first quarter. No score so far far, the Beavers beneficiary of the turnover there on the drive with Kenny Leith in the shotgun. In motion, looks like Barnes. He sets up on the right side. Hand off to the right side again, cut back a little bit, gets through to about 2 or 3 yards on that play. So a quick hitter going around the right side, trying to turn it back in. And it is going to be Tariq Parker on that one. That'll set up a second and looks like about 7.
So you can see right away what American River's trying to do. They've run 5 offensive plays, Phantom. They've all been on the ground. They've went 2 up the middle, 2 around the side. They're trying to establish the line of scrimmage. From their perspective, when Butte's offense is off the field, they're winning the game. That's what they're going to try to do.
Exactly. Tariq Parker with that big 7-yard gain on the first play, which kind of set the tone for the series so far. Second down, 8 yards to go at the 47-yard line. That's another handoff that's going to cut out to the right side as Parker again breaks a couple of tackles and gets down around the 40-yard line. That'll set up a 3rd and 1 for the Beavers.
He broke a tackle at the line of scrimmage. It was actually a really good play, but coming up to make the tackle was Lydell Hudson, knocking him just short of the first down. And here we are in another 3rd and short situation. So they've had 6 plays on offense. They've all been runs. They've all been really into the boundary, into the short side of the field. And American River kind of slowing the pace down of the game, looking over to the sidelines. There's a difference between a no huddle and a pace.
Do you expect the power formation here? It looks like that's what we're getting on 3rd down and 1. They've got to get to the 39-yard line. And Luth is going to go ahead and he's faked it, and he's going to throw it up in the air. That's going to be that's a pass interference. So Luth kind of did a fake, like he was going to do the quarterback sneak or kneel down, and he was looking. I think that was probably Grayson Barnes out there trying to get the play. And the defensive back taken by surprise. It was a little underthrown, and he committed the penalty.
Well, it wasn't a penalty. It was almost a misdemeanor. He looked like he was going to Rory Morgan right there. And I was just about to say, talk about setting up play action. They've run it. So a little fake kneel. It is a pass interference down on the other side. And the tight end did have a step. Ball was well thrown. And the defensive back that time, Coey LeMay from Utah, just tackled him.
Well, that's all he had. Like you say, he was spelled for the fake. It was a good fake. It was set up well, and he fell for it. So now we've got a first down. It looks like at about the 26-yard line for the Beavers. In the shotgun, Kenny Leith. He is going to hand that one up the middle, and it will go for no gain on the play. So it took its time handing it off, and by the time the runner got the ball, it was Ture Hendrick, and he was going to be dropped for no gain.
Hendrick's second carry of the game. They're giving to Tariq Parker a little bit of a break on that. They go out of shotgun, 2 receivers set to the left, 1 to the right, try to spread out the Butte defense and try to catch them off guard with something quick up the middle. But so far the defensive front has been on Tariq Hendrick. 2nd
and 10. Haven't seen Joshua Moore yet in the backfield for the Beavers. Leith is in the shotgun. You think it's a pass situation here, 2nd and 10. 9:42 to go first quarter, still no score. The Beavers have had it for pretty much the entire time after the turnover. Leith is looking on the left side. He's going to let that one go down the sideline, and it is caught over there in the end zone. That is a touchdown. Robert Freeman is the guy that we talked about in the pregame, electrifying, and there you go, Scott Gordon. The electrifying Robert Freeman puts points up on the board for the Beavers.
That was a fantastic throw. The ball is on the right hash. They run a corner route. He's double covered, so they know he's getting the ball, Freeman. The ball is thrown where no defender could get it over his outside shoulder. He catches it, walks into the end zone, and they pick up 6 points off the turnover.
Yeah, I talked about Robert Freeman, but you're right. That's a Kenny Leith perfect pass right there. Stood up tall, got some good protection from that offensive line. And here's Zach Schreiner trying to get the extra point. Here's the extra point by Zach, and it looks up, and it is good. So 7 points up on the board for American River, and not only 7 points, Scott, so you know they're feeling good about that, but 7 points off of a turnover.
Well, and Butte came out, first play, pick up a first down, second play, pick up a first down. Looks like they're going to get into a little bit of a rhythm. Great job by Spence knocking the ball loose. They have the ball at the 45, and give American River a lot of credit. They went for it on 4th and short.
Yeah.
Then they had a 3rd and short. They tried a little trick play. They force the penalty, and then right after that they run it and then throw it over to the corner, and that was a great throw for these quarterbacks that have been juxtapositioning all year, who's in, who's not. That was you can't throw a football better than that.
Yeah, and if you're going to script the first 6 minutes of the game, you couldn't very well script it any better from the American River standpoint right there. So when they come out here now, they're a little bit up. They're feeling good about themselves. What do they have to do in this series?
A defensive coordinator loves calling defense when you're in the lead. It's the easiest time to call a defense. So now what they gave them a chance to do is sit over here while their offense was eating up clock and say, all right, they hit us twice with the tight end. They threw it quickly out to the side, quickly out over the middle. So now what do we need to do defensively? So we gave Lou Baez and the defensive staff a chance to look at the film on the first 2 plays and make some adjustments.
Yeah, you're right. They really went to the air a lot in those in that first couple of plays with Tanner Hughes with the completions to Waddell and others. So here we go. 9:27 to go, first quarter. American River out on top. A little bit of a surprise, I think, 7-0. A very good drive after the turnover. And here's Zach Schreiner again. He's going to that's a little bit of a shorter kick, but I think it's still going to get into the end zone and be a touchback. So a touchback for the Roadrunners. They'll come out and they'll have a 1st and 10 to go. Second possession of theirs, and they're feeling like they got to come out and erase some of those past mistakes, and so they'll be looking to move the ball. Interesting to see, Scott, if they'll go to the ground game a little bit more here, as we haven't seen it yet.
Well, it's early. They're a veteran team, and they were moving the ball the way they wanted to if they didn't get the turnover there, so you don't really need to get out of it. I mean, there's more than 9 minutes to play here in the first quarter. There's no reason to hit the panic button. But, for the defense, really what the offense needs to do is give the defense a chance and a breather to figure out how to slow down the ARC right now.
Yeah, because they were on the field for about 5 minutes or so. Here we are, Tanner Hughes in the shotgun, running back behind him. He is going to go ahead and hand off to that running back on the right side. No, it's a fake, and they got a guy coming around from the right end, and a good gain out almost to the 44-yard line. That is number 3, Troy Davis. The fake into the line. Troy came from the right end position around the quarterback and down the left side for the big gain.
Now they're going to go with a little bit of tempo again. You're exactly right. We thought he gave it to the first back through. It was a great fake, and they bring it around to Davis on the end around, pick up 22 yards on first down. So the problem for the Roadrunners, or the problem has not been getting yards. The problem is holding on to the football.
Right. In that case, they went ahead and a running play, but not a real running play, so they still haven't used the running backs, but well faked on that by Tanner Hughes, and he is in the shotgun here, 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line. A low snap, and he's got it on the ground. He's going to just fall on it, a smart move, and he lost 3 on the play.
A self-inflicted wound right there. That's always an interesting one when they have a player in motion from the slot going across, and they're trying to time the snap so perfectly, but you can't be against the sticks. I mean, that is a self-inflicted wound. That's what they did the last time they had the ball. 2 first downs, got the fumble. Now they pick up a great pickup on first down and then snap it low to the quarterback and lose 6 yards on second down.
Yeah, it is a loss of 6, not 3, so it's going to be 2nd and 16 from the 36. Hughes in the shotgun, 1 back behind him. In motion from the right side. It's a pitch out to the left side, the short side, and it's closed down quickly by American River College. That's Caleb Ramsey, the running back. That's the first real running play that we've seen from the Roadrunners. They ran him to the short side, Scott, and I think that helped out the Beavers.
Well, they did. They ran that little quick sweep, which we're seeing more and more of in college football. Catch it, sweep, try to get the edge. But, one of the strongest parts of the Beavers' defense is their defensive front. We've been talking about Kai Wallen, who almost knocked down the first pass. They've got a great defensive front, those front 4. They did a great job of just keeping him lateral left to right. Couldn't go north to south.
3rd and 13 now from the 39-yard line. Got to get to the 47 of the Beavers. Hughes in the shotgun, got a running back to his left. He's going straight back to pass, looking up the middle, lets it fly. Closed in by the Beavers, but it's a completion, and it will be a first down, I think, for the Butte College Roadrunners. A well-thrown ball by Tanner Hughes. He hit DJ Jackson on that for the first down.
DJ Jackson was in the slot, ran a post route, knew exactly where the sticks were. That was a big-time throw, right on the numbers, right where the number 1 and 1 for 11 for DJ Jackson, who's from Bishop Manogue High School over in Reno. Good route. And, there wasn't a big window there, Phantom, for him to get through. He threw it between the safety and the linebackers, but nonetheless, they pick up a first down. Now they have it in ARC territory for the first time.
Yeah, safety was closing quickly on that one, so a first down from the 43-yard line. Hughes in that shotgun. He's going to hand that off to his running back, who just a couple of yards by Rex Ramsey. He's going to get down to about the 38, 39-yard line. So a gain of, we'll call it 4, brings up a 2nd and 6.
Nice job by James Turrentine, defensive lineman from Pleasant Grove, just pushing the guard to his side and making the tackle. Tripped him up, still picked up 3 yards on first down.
Sets up a 2nd and 7 now as the Beavers, as you said, Scott, they've been giving up yards. They had the turnover the first series, and now they are facing the 2nd and 7. Now the ball in their territory in the 39, 6:38 to go here in the first quarter. Beavers lead at 7-0. Hughes talking to Ramsey in the backfield, who was on his right, and then we're going to have a timeout, I think, for this time for Butte. They're going to call a timeout here. So with 6:28 to go, and American River in the lead 7-0. So Scott, you pretty much predicted what Butte was going to do, which is just what they've been doing, and they come up with, as you said, a big throw there on 3rd down to keep this drive going.
Well, you got to give them some credit. They had a self-inflicted wound. They pick up the first down, and then they have the bad snap. They lose 6 yards on 2nd down. And then they try the running play, and then on the 3rd and long, they just do it. It was a very good little pitch and catch. You see the 6'5", 235 quarterback with the strength of the arm that he has. A lot of schools are looking at him, and it's interesting. We're sitting right next to the Butte coaching staff, and you can tell sometimes with an offense that likes to run with some tempo, a lot of their plays are position group, formation, motion, play, and any one of those things that's off, you've got to take a timeout to correct it.
And that's what happened right there. So the Beavers, though, I think that probably an advantage for them as well to go ahead and get that timeout from the other side and go ahead and take a break themselves and maybe talk over a few things on their side. So here come the Roadrunners back out on the field. Remember, they're number 8th ranked in the state of California. They got the big win over San Francisco City College early. Lost their first game to Sequoias, but have won 4 of 5 since then. And the Beavers are at 3-3. They've won 2 in a row. And here we go. 2nd down and 7 to go on the 39-yard line. Hughes going to set a guy in motion. That's Troy Davis from the left side coming to the right. Hughes looks to the right, hits it. He's got a running back coming out of the backfield. He's got some room. Scoots through to the 25 and down to the right around the 20-yard line. So a quick toss by Hughes and a big gain for the Roadrunners.
Great play concept and design. That time they put Troy Davis in motion. The defense went with him. He took one of the linebackers and cornerbacks, kept blocking out to the side, and then he hit Caleb Ramsey. That's a good arm angle. Did you see he had to go low that time underneath the defensive end? When they say they make all the throws, it's not just they throw with touch, they throw with pace, but you got to have different arm angles. That was a good throw.
First down from the 18-yard line, 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Hughes in the shotgun with Ramsey behind him. He is going to look left. He's going to pull one over for the corner. It's defended well, but I think it is completed for a touchdown for Butte College, but it looks like we might have a penalty on the play, so we'll hold off a bit. We'll get the number of the guy who made the catch right in the corner. Another good throw by Hughes, but there is a flag on the play.
It was Jalen Hammer, one-on-one route. Great catch over the top, but I think this one's coming back. Just by the way, everybody's walking right here.
So we're waiting for the referee to let us know. It is a penalty.
Substitution infraction right there. They might have broke the huddle with 12 players. Not sure. You don't see that very often, but it's a 5-yard penalty. Nonetheless, it wipes 6 points off the board.
And as you talked about, they have all these things that need to align, and maybe one of them didn't align. Good defense. It looked like by Cole Douglas over there on the defensive hammer, but he just made an excellent catch, and it was a fine throw by Hughes. But now we've got a 2nd and 15. The ball on the 23 makes that 1st and 15. My bad on that. Couple of running backs in. Now we've got a motion man moving up to the line of scrimmage. So just one, and that's Ramsey. They're going to hand it off to Caleb. He goes on the right side, and well shut down by the Beavers. A real good tackle by American River. Going to hold him to about a 1 or 2 yard gain. And that was Josh Tremaine, who was one of the leading tacklers, second on the team coming in, and he makes the play for a good play by the American River College Beavers.
Josh Tremaine obviously played at Folsom High School. His brother Tyler Tremaine there, of the Tremaine family. You know, those Folsom players, they played so many big games. There's another penalty flag down here, too.
I wonder what the delay was, and this time it's going to be against American River.
Looks like a late hit.
It looks like, it's an unsportsmanlike or personal foul, so that's going to be a halfway to the goal, it looks like, which will get us inside the 10-yard line. Just trying to follow this referee and see when he stops, and it's going to be right about the 11-yard line. So penalties on the Roadrunners, and now a penalty on the Beavers, and both teams with good plays wiped out by penalties.
Yeah, they'll get it 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. It was a personal foul, probably a late hit. Tremaine did a nice job, but a couple other Beavers jumped on the pile. And here again, The Roadrunners are going to take it. It looks like their second timeout, and the coaching staff, I can tell you right now, Coach Osterhout is not very happy with the officiating about that call.
Yeah, and I don't. When you talk about the coaching staff, I don't think the Butte coaching staff is very happy with their players having to spend 2 of their timeouts in the first 10 minutes of the ball game. A team that is 4-2 is kind of moving on all cylinders, and out here kind of sputtering a little bit, maybe thrown off a little by that early turnover. But they've come back and looked really good offensively. And Hughes has shown us, I think, Scott, why people, as you say, are out here looking at him. He's a big guy, and he moves around, but he's also got a really good arm.
You don't expect this week 7. You're 4-2. You know your personnel packages. You review them all week. And obviously being able to take 2 timeouts right there is just not something that they want to do on this drive. But that tells you how important this drive is. This is just their second offensive possession. Obviously, they turned it over on their first possession. And so for now to have the ball inside the red zone and to get something moving, they've got to get points on this drive.
And that is what they're talking about right now as American River comes back on the field. And it's been a first quarter with a lot of action, a lot of stoppages, it seems like. You don't usually get this many timeouts in the first 10 minutes of a game, especially from a team, like you say, that's been playing well. And now they're ready out here again with Tanner Hughes. Caleb Ranciere behind him. Troy Davis split out to the left side. And now we've got a little bit more of a delay.
Now let's see. Again, a substitution infraction. So they broke the huddle again with 12 people.
Yeah,
second time.
That's something I think, like you mentioned, excuse me, Scott, but you mentioned earlier that they got to have like 4 different things working at the same time. But you'd think by week 7 they'd have those 4 different things working on a team that's been playing well.
Well, and Phantom, you just came out of a timeout.
Yeah, exactly.
You just talked about exactly what you want to do. So obviously they've got some communication things to work out. This is a critical play for them. But again, against the sticks now, 1st and 15.
Yeah, at the 16-yard line. And Hughes waiting in the gun. Motion from right to left. He's going to fake it to Ramsier and throw it quickly out to the left. Completed out here. Closed down pretty quickly, but a good run after the catch by the Roadrunners. They're going to get it all the way down to about the 7-yard line and set up a second down.
Landon Cooper, the ball was pretty much thrown at his feet. He picked it up. He did a nice job. That ball was kind of rushed thrown to him by Tanner Hughes, but now you can see why his numbers are pretty good when you have a tight end like Landon Cooper who catches it and takes it down inside the 10-yard line. Good pitch and catch for him.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier before the game about the array of receivers. That's Cooper's only his 6th reception on the season, but he did make a fine play on that one. Okay, so here we go, second down. We're about the 6 or 7-yard line. In the gun, Hughes going to pitch it out to Ramsier, left side. He's got a little bit of a hole. He stopped up, cuts back, and he's caught from behind by the Beavers down at about the 1-yard line. It's signaled touchdown by the Roadrunners, but I don't think that counts. I think it's got to be the referee.
No, it actually has to be a ref that makes that final determination. It's kind of like a court of law. It's kind of one of those things. Nonetheless, they came out with a power back look, shifted the 2 back, so they had 4 tight ends essentially in the route. They had the ball in the left hash. They ran a sweep down to the short side. I actually thought the running backs took off just a step early. Nonetheless, they have it 1st and goal at the 1.
And Hughes comes up. He's going to be under center now. And remember, he's got there. We have another penalty on the play, and hopefully it's not a substitution error because that would really be embarrassing.
It's going to be an illegal procedure. It's going to push Butte back 5 yards.
And we talked about Tanner Hughes with his 5 touchdowns, so we were expecting to see a quarterback sneak on that play, and maybe he got a little too excited on that, and we'll see. But it's going to push it back to the 6. But I still think it is. They did get a first down, so it's 1st and goal on the 6. 7-0. American River leads it just under 4 minutes here from Beaver Stadium on the campus of American River College, Sacramento, California. I have a really good parking place. Scott does not, but that's neither here nor there.
I'm trying to get my steps.
That's neither here nor there.
Get my steps
you might want to kind of more steps.
I need a golf cart. Yeah. So
Ramsier behind Hughes in the shotgun, and he is going to hand it to him right up the middle. Bounces off a couple. He's going to roll down to about the 3-yard line, but initially a pretty good push by the defensive line of the Beavers.
That was the exact same look they played on the sweep play that picked up all the way down to the first 1-yard line. This time they gave it to him, trying to sneak it off the right and left tackle. But as you mentioned, good push by the defensive front that time by the Beavers.
Okay, here we go. Second down and goal from the 4. Same alignment with Hughes. 6'5" quarterback, standing on about the 9-yard line in the gun. He's got Ramsier behind him. He's going to go ahead and fake it to Ramsier, roll to the right, try to hit it, and it is completed. Touchdown for Butte College. Hit the tight end on a play that American River almost knocked down.
Absolutely. So they're on the left hash. They fake the sweep on this side, roll out, little QB waggle that time. They hit the tight end, Zach Woodell, who was the second catch of the game. Good diving catch. Coverage was not awful on that at all, but a great throw. He threw it in a spot only his receiver could get it to, and picks up his 13th touchdown pass of the season.
2:54 to go in the quarter. The kick by Dante Jackson is right down the middle, and that is going to tie this game at 7. So pretty impressive answer, Scott, by the Butte College Roadrunners, who took that early turnover and touchdown by the Beavers and came back and tied this one up in very methodical fashion, really.
You know, they overcame their own adversity. They had to call 2 timeouts. They had to overcome 3 penalties, a false start, 1st and goal at the 1. But you got to love the play call. You're running the ball pretty well. You know your quarterback is their key player. They fake it on the rollout to the wide side of the field. They had 2 tight ends in the route. One short was well covered, and the one deep was Woodell, and he had a step on the safety, and he gets the touchdown.
And as you mentioned, Hughes with another well-thrown ball. He is not hurting his stock any way at all by what he has done so far in this game. So the Beavers now going to come out. They had that 7-0 lead for about 5 minutes, and now it is tied up at 7-7. They're going to send Brandon Barthel back, and it looks like Robert Freeman as well. And as I told Scott, in preparation for this game, Robert Freeman is a guy to keep your eye on in these situations.
The other thing that they did is they gave their defense a chance to rest and really watch a lot of tape of what happened on the first drive, that 55-yard touchdown drive by American River. So the defense is well rested and ready to come back out. Now the game's tied.
Dante Jackson puts the foot in. It's a short kick. It'll be, looks like Freeman on about the 11-yard line, going to go right straight up the middle. Now he goes to the right side, gets by 1 or 2, and he's pulled down right about the 25-yard line. That's where American River is going to start. And Scott, do you expect to see more of the running game, or do you think they'll air it out a little bit here?
I think they need to give their defense a little bit of a breather. They just gave up an 80-yard drive. They were just on the field for more than 6 minutes of playing time. That included a couple of timeouts. Obviously, this early in the game, all you want to do is score and get points, but you also want to establish the line of scrimmage. You want to give your defense a rest, a chance to look at some tape. They just gave up a touchdown pass. They just gave up a long 3rd down. I expect it to be a good mixture of both.
Kenny Leith in the shotgun for the Beavers. He's got a running back behind him. I think that is Tariq Parker, and they've got 2 wide receivers split right now. Grayson Barnes goes in motion to the left, resets on the left side. Leith is going to hand it to Reed Parker going around that left side. It's going to be stopped up and going to get the ball down to about the 13-yard line there, so it'll set up a 2nd and 8 for the Beavers.
It's actually Robert Freeman that was in the backfield that time. They run the sweep to the wide side of the field. They get a good little edge, pick up 2 yards on 1st down.
And Tariq Parker coming in the game now, so trying to move Freeman. You know, you got a guy who's that good with the ball. You want to get it to him in as many different ways you can, and that's the way they use Robert Freeman there. And now the Tariq Parker will get it coming in and split Robert Freeman back out to his wide receiver spot as the Beavers waiting for that play to come in from the sidelines, and it's taking quite a bit as we tick down. Close to 2 minutes left in the first quarter here, 7-7 tie with the Roadrunners and the Beavers. Leith in the shotgun turns and hands it. No, he's going to hold on to it. He's looking for a receiver going down the right side, but he is well covered by the Roadrunners, and he throws it over the head of Grayson Barnes to set up a 3rd down.
What a job by Elijah O'Neal. We had his number covered before the game, the outstanding outside linebacker, from Renton, Washington. He did not bite on the fake at all, and he was in on Leith, and Leith just had to throw that one away. No receiver was really open in the route. They try a play action, but this is a key 3rd down now, Phantom, because your defense just was on the field for 7 minutes. You need to pick up a 1st down and take up some time.
3rd down, 8 yards to go. They are at the 25-yard line. Leith is going to go straight back, step up. He's under pressure. He's going to try to run it. He goes up the middle. He runs over a defender, but he's going to be about 2 yards short of a 1st down.
There's a flag on the offside. If you're American River right now, you're hoping this is defensive offsides, but they're running their punt team on, so I'm not sure what the call is going to be that. We'll see.
It doesn't even look like they're really even talking about a penalty, or else they've already got a wave off from the Roadrunners. So, as you mentioned, the Beavers in punt formation. Alden Basirovich is the kicker. averaging 38.7 yards a kick. But as Coach Osterhout told me yesterday when I was talking to him, he said this guy's got all the kicks. He's done everything we've asked him to do. He's one of the best kickers in the state. So Alden will get it he's probably going to kick from about the 20-yard line with the receiver at about the 25 of the Roadrunners. 1:43 to go.
Sorry, Phantom, with the wind.
So we'll see how that affects this kick. We've got a bluff by the Roadrunners. So from the 20, the kick is up. It's a really good kick. It's going to come down, and now over the head of the receiver. That's going to bounce down toward the 2-yard line. Did they save it? Knocks it back in, and that is covered by the Beaver special team at about the 4-yard line, and we've got to find, I think that was Brendan Barthel, but we'll check on that. Got the ball, batted it back, and the rest of the special teams covered it.
A big mistake that time by the Butte defender. It was a wonderful kick, but the returner, not the defender, he happens to be the defensive back, Zach Vassirel, and he let it go over his head thinking it was going to roll in the end zone from about the 20-yard line. As he fields it, they would have had it at the 20. Nonetheless, the coverage that time by the Beavers was fantastic, and they pin him down at the 4-yard line.
Yeah, usually it's if you're standing at the 10 and it's over your head, you let it go, but not the 20. That was just too much area, and as we saw, the Sirovic with a great punt all the way down to the 4-yard line. 1:26 to go, first quarter, and Hughes comes out with Ramsier behind him, and they said they're trying to get movement, but no call is made. They said there's movement. The Beavers are pointing it out, and now we have a flag coming in. It might be on a 7-second tape delay. That sometimes happens.
Caleb Ramsier moved early.
So we're going to get movement by Ramsier, and that's going to be half the distance to the goal, which isn't that far, but it is getting it back to the 2-yard line. So, Scott, how huge is this now for American River? Now, they're going to try to get themselves out of the end zone, get a little breathing room, and the Beavers, have a chance here that the punt and the penalty has given them.
I'm just surprised they've had 3 illegal procedures, and 2 of them have been from the running back. That is kind of rare. A lot of times what they tell you to do is just continue to go in motion, and the quarterback has to run it. Nonetheless, changes their strategy.
First down, it's going to be just a quarterback sneak by Tanner Hughes, and they scrum him out and get him all the way out to the 10-yard line. So Hughes, as we talked about, likes the quarterback sneak, not usually from his own 2-yard line, but they picked up about 7 yards on the play, so pretty successful.
That was like putting a hockey goalie and everybody behind him and just shoving it. I mean, that wasn't even a quarterback sneak. That was literally like a tank going through the middle of the line there.
That was a quarterback. It was, and it was pretty successful because it sets up, and now it's 2nd and about 5. Make that 4 according to the scoreboard. Hughes with Ramsier behind him. Motion right to left. He's going to hand it to Ramsier. He's got a hole up the middle, cuts it back again. He's at the 20 at about 22, and here comes the scrum. And that time it's the scrum pushed back, but Ramsier gets it all the way up to the 24-yard line. That'll be a first down with just 35 seconds to go in the quarter.
One of the best runs we've seen so far, 2nd and 5. Cut it back at the line of scrimmage, cut it back against in the linebacker core, makes it all the way